The gym was buzzing that evening, filled with the usual clang of weights and steady hum of treadmills. Among the regulars, one man stood out, a rich MMA star known as Axel Price. He strutted around in designer gear, surrounded by fans eager for selfies and autographs. His reputation wasn't just built on his fierce knockouts in the cage, but also on his cocky attitude outside it. Everyone watched when Axel turned his eyes on a woman quietly stretching in the corner. She didn't look like the type who belonged in his circle. No fancy leggings, no expensive shoes, just an old hoodie and a pair of worn-out sneakers. He smirked, sauntering over with that grin people both loved and hated. "Hey, sweetheart, you sure you're in the right place?" he asked loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. A few laughed along with him, not wanting to get on his bad side. The woman, who introduced herself as Lila, just smiled politely. She didn't fire back or try to defend herself. She simply returned to her workout, ignoring the stares. Some people snickered when Axel mocked her push-ups, whispering that she was wasting everyone's time. But what nobody knew was that Lila had her own reasons for being there, and they had nothing to do with impressing anyone. She came back the next day, same spot, same old clothes. This time, Axel was sparring in the ring, showing off for his crew. When Lila stepped up and asked for a quick, friendly match, the entire gym fell silent. Axel laughed, thinking it was just another joke to brag about later. No one expected what happened next. In just 10 seconds, the entire gym witnessed something they would never forget. Axel Price learned a lesson he'd remember for the rest of his life. Axel couldn't stop grinning as he stepped into the ring, bouncing on his feet like he was about to film another highlight reel. His friends gathered around, phones out, ready to catch the moment he'd embarrass the simple woman in front of the whole gym. Lila climbed through the ropes without saying a word, her face calm, almost too calm. She didn't have fancy gloves, just a borrowed pair from the front desk, a little too big for her small hands. Some of Axel's fans chuckled, whispering that she'd back out any second. But Lila didn't flinch. She adjusted her ponytail and stood across from Axel, eyes steady. A few people started wondering if they'd seen her before, maybe in some underground match or local tournament, but no one could place her. To them, she was just a quiet woman who kept to herself, never bragging or showing off. The gym manager, an old boxer named Joe, watched from the side, arms crossed. He'd seen thousands of people walk through those doors, but something about Lila made him pause. There was a focus in her eyes that didn't match her faded clothes. Axel threw a few light jabs, testing her reaction, playing to the crowd. Every time, Lila dodged just enough, nothing fancy, just calm, precise moves. The people watching started to shift, the laughter dying down as they realized this wasn't a joke anymore. But Axel didn't notice. He kept taunting her, shouting, "Come on, show me what you got." His voice echoed through the gym, but Lila stayed silent. No one knew where she learned to fight or why she agreed to step into the ring with a pro. Some said she had a score to settle. Others thought she was just crazy. But in that moment, the only thing clear was that Axel Price was about to face something he couldn't buy his way out of. As the first seconds ticked by, the people standing around the ring could feel something shift. Axel's friends weren't laughing anymore. A few gym members who'd come just for a casual workout had put down their weights and joined the circle. Drawn in by the strange sight, a rich MMA star throwing flashy punches at a woman who barely moved but never seemed afraid. Joe, the old manager, leaned in closer, his mind racing back to a rumor he'd heard a few months ago about a retired underground fighter who'd vanished after one bad match. He wondered if Lila was that fighter, but he kept quiet, eyes locked on every small move she made. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner near the lockers, two young trainers whispered about Axel. He wasn't always this cocky, they said. When he first joined the gym, he worked hard and respected everyone. But fame and money had changed him. He stopped listening, stopped learning, and now he only cared about the cameras and headlines. Watching him now, the trainers wondered if this would finally humble him. But they didn't say it to loud. Axel had a way of making trouble for anyone who spoke against him. Inside the ring, Lila kept circling him, her eyes reading him like an open book. Every fake punch he threw, every step he took, she noticed. She moved like someone who'd seen real fights, the kind without bright lights or cheering crowds. Some people started recording, hoping to catch whatever was about to happen. They knew they were about to witness something no viral clip could explain in one caption. Axel, growing annoyed, swung harder, trying to land one clean hit to shut everyone up. But every miss only made him angrier. Lila's face stayed calm, her breathing steady. She wasn't here for money, fame, or revenge, at least, not in any way they could see. But something about the way she looked at Axel made it clear this fight was about more than just a quick knockout. And no one in that gym could guess what would happen when she finally decided to strike. Axel's breathing turned heavy as he circled Lila, sweat starting to drip down his forehead. The grin he wore at the beginning was gone now, replaced by clenched teeth and narrowed eyes. Every punch that missed chipped away at his ego, and the crowd could feel it. The phones recording him made him more restless he couldn't afford to look weak, not in front of his fans, not in front of everyone who fed his fame. He threw another sharp hook, fast enough to knock out any rookie. But Lila ducked under it like she knew it was coming before he even moved. Joe glanced at the timer on the wall. Barely 30 seconds had passed, but it felt like forever. He saw the doubt creeping into Axel's movements. Around the ring, people whispered Lila's name like it was suddenly worth remembering. Some started searching online, trying to figure out who she really was. A few caught an old clip on a fighting 4M grainy footage of a woman delivering a knockout so clean it didn't look real. But they couldn't confirm it was her. The mystery only made the tension worse. Axel's crew tried to cheer him on, yelling insults at Lila to throw her off. But her focus never broke. She didn't hear the words, only the rhythm of Axel's feet on the mat, the way his shoulder twitched before a punch. Every tiny detail told her what was coming next. This was just another fight she'd already won in her mind. The trainers near the lockers exchanged worried looks. If Axel didn't calm down, he'd make a mistake big enough to cost him. But there was no stopping him. Now his pride was on the line. He faked left, swung right, his arm cutting through the air with all the force of an MMA champion trying to prove a point. And right then, in that breathless second before contact, everyone watching knew something was about to happen that would change the entire gym forever. Just as Axel's punch sliced through the air, Lila stepped aside so smoothly it was like she'd vanished for a split second. Axel stumbled forward, thrown off balance by his own force. The crowd gasped, half expecting her to finish him right there, but Lila didn't lift a fist. She just looked at him steady.com, almost like she felt sorry for him. For a heartbeat, Axel locked eyes with her and saw something he hadn't noticed before. There was no fear in her stare, no anger, either, just a quiet power that made him feel small in a way no opponent ever had. But before he could find his footing, the gym doors swung open with a loud bang that made everyone flinch. A man in a dark suit stepped inside, eyes scanning the ring. He didn't look like he belonged in a sweaty gym full of fighters and fans. He moved straight to Joe, handed him a piece of paper, and whispered something that made the old manager's jaw tighten. Joe's eyes darted from the paper to Lila, then to Axel, and back again. Word spread fast through the crowd. Whispers turned into murmurs. Somebody recognized the man as a promoter for an underground fight league that Axel had once refused to join. Rumor was they'd been chasing Lila 2 years ago before she disappeared. Now, with all eyes on her, this unexpected visitor wasn't just here to watch. He was here to make sure Lila didn't stay hidden anymore. Axel, breathless and confused, saw the man too. He spat out, "What's he doing here?" But Lila didn't answer. She kept her eyes on Axel as if the stranger didn't matter. But to everyone else, it was clear the stakes had just doubled. This wasn't only about bruised egos or a viral video anymore. This was about a fight that could spill far beyond the gym walls. Now Lila was right in the center of it, holding secrets no one could read yet. Axel's chest rose and fell as he tried to piece together what was happening. The man in the suit didn't flinch when Axel shot him a glare. Instead, he leaned against the ropes, his sharp eyes flicking between Lila and the MMA star like he was calculating something. Joe folded the paper and slipped it into his pocket, but his face gave away nothing. For the first time in a long while, Axel felt like he wasn't in control of the room. Lila shifted her stance, shoulders loose, fists still down. She glanced at the suited man, then back at Axel like she'd expected this moment. The tension inside the ring pressed in like thick air. One dared to say a word. The man finally spoke up, his voice calm but loud enough for everyone to hear. "This fight doesn't end here. Axel, she's got unfinished business, and so do you." Axel barked a hum.